welcome back to Let's Talk About Local Politics. And today I gonna have a wonderful guest. He is one of the youngest, he is the youngest mayor appointed in Norway ever. He was 21 when he was appointed, elected as the mayor. And he's gonna educate us and enlighten us about the party that he represents, which is, I have to kind of sneak peek a little bit how to say it in English because I'm not that confident in what the party's name is in English. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit and say Christian Democrats. That's the one he is gonna be talking about, and that's really cool because me personally don't know much what they stand for or what are the issues that they are gonna forward in the different local elections this year. So let's see if he's here. He's not here yet. We have the beautiful Lisa watching, and Lisa, remember to send us your questions if you have any for our guest today. I hope he's coming any minute. Until then, I just wanted to talk about the local election that are coming up in early September. So we have been running this program for a few weeks now, and I hope you have made up your mind that you're definitely going to vote, because that's the most important thing, right? You have to be interested enough in your own future, and this is the time for you to be a part of the change. If you want to bring a new change to the place that you live in your local community, then you have to use your vote and help us make the change. Also bring forward your issues. If you have any questions, if you have anything that burning desire that the politicians should bring forward this or look at this, then ask us the question so we can bring it forward for you. 7th of August, there is a meeting that Deepika has arranged in Stortinget, the parliament. And that's going to be a very, very exciting meeting where we can, get really up close with politicians and, listen to their views and ask questions. And, a lot of people, including me early, were a little bit afraid of politicians because we put them high up, but in Norway most of the politicians are so lovely and friendly people, and all they want to do is help you. They want to forward your issues. So remember to get to know all of the parties and see which one is your party. There might be different each year, and we talked about this also, that you might feel connected to one or agree more with one party this year, and maybe next year there is another party. So don't waste time. Get to know your parties, and I'm just gonna ping our guest. I hope he's coming any minute now. Okay, yeah. So people, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to air, then this is the time. And let's see if we can invite anybody. There he is. Great. Now I'm going to invite him on, and let's welcome him.
Hi.
Hi and welcome, Jonas.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very good this evening. How are you?
Yes, very, very good. Okay, so first, before we start, please tell me, do you use both of your names, Jonas Andersen, or do you just use Jonas?
Jonas is good, and actually Andersen is the name of my mother. So it's
Oh.
actually my last name, even though in my passport it's registered as my first name.
Oh, wow. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us in this show. We are so excited to have you here. We would love for you to introduce yourself to our audience, and then we'll shoot with the questions.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jonas Andersen. I'm 25 years old. I'm the mayor of the beautiful municipality of Sokndal. Not the biggest municipality of Norway, but also not the smallest. One of Norway's 356 municipalities. I've been that the last 4 years, and before that I was also a member of the city council for 4 years.
Oh, so yeah, I was telling my audience earlier that you are the youngest mayor ever elected in Norway. So how would you tell us how did that come about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I keep asking myself that question. So first of all, I was really privileged to be a part of the city council, and I was trying to do the best for my party and for especially the young people of Sokndal. And then the mayor of Sokndal, he also represented my party. He said that he's not running for re-election, and he challenged me to take over his spot as the mayor nominee.
Wow.
First of all, I said no, because the people won't vote for this 21-year-old who's not educated and doesn't know anyone. But we tried, and believe it or not, I was elected. And now we're 4 years in. I'm more motivated than ever to continue. And we have this election on September 11th, and we'll see what the people think.
Wow. Oh, that's so amazing. And it's very inspiring for young people who, and you were, before you were elected, you were very active. Were you very active as a politician?
You mean into city council? No, not especially. I was, of course, I was a bit active in my local church, and also I was participating in the social sciences in school. But like you're 16, 17 years old, and I was a member of the youth council of Sokndal, but that wasn't political back then. It was more like trying to organize different fun activities for the young people of the municipality. And I was trying just to be myself.
It is amazing. It's very inspiring to see that somebody who's that young were elected, and I think you're underselling yourself because, but it is good to encourage the young people to see what is possible, and somebody needs to be the first one to do it so that other people can think, oh, it's actually possible to be mayor in a young age.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing. But could you tell us a little bit about the party that you represent?
So I represent the Norwegian Christian Democratic Party. It's if you kind of sort the parties from left to right, is basically in the center of the Norwegian political sphere. And the main values for the party is that we want to build a society built on human dignity, compassion, and to take care of the resources both in the nature and also the economic resources for the further generations. And also a core principle of the party's policies is that we want to kind of build the society around the small, like the families and all of the volunteering work in our local communities, because that's really valuable, and we want to build the society from bottom up, not from the top bottom. And also,
I love that. I love that way of looking and working around, creating a society that has family as the highest value, because if you have the family support, you can do everything. But it is also a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, right? So if we can help each other to raise our children, I think the future will definitely be much brighter for everybody, not just in one county, but actually in whole Norway, if we can have that as our values.
Yes,
I think that would be amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So our audience, as I said, are very focused about education, and so how does Christian Democrats, what are the views around education, and what are the main points that they will be working on this year?
So I would say that kind of the main vision of the human is that we are equally valuable. We have different gifts that's given to us, and we have to kind of understand that not everyone can become a doctor, or and that it's in the Norwegian society, it's also good that we have people that's not taking the academic approach, but also doing the vocational education. But what's good is that the teacher is and the school is there to kind of make it possible for every student to succeed, even though they have different starting points. So for me, for example, I was a good student, and maybe I was lucky with the genes from my Indian father. I don't know. So
Definitely.
I'm very happy that my teacher from early age was able to give me extra homework when I wanted to, and I was able to take more advanced physics and mathematics from an early age. That really motivated me, but also while I was still a part of a class with other students, that also helped me to kind of understand that not everyone has the same kind of approach like me. But I think that's kind of the Norwegian society, that instead of grouping people into different groups from an early age, we kind of want everyone to succeed, and also the strong students can really strive to improve, even though we're still in the same group as weaker students.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point, because it wasn't like that when I was younger. When I was studying, there was not like that. Most of the time and focus went to the children who were struggling, because they needed more help, and those who were advanced and good in math. I was also good in math due to my Indian genes, I guess. Were not encouraged to move forward faster. There was not. I was not helped with that, but it has changed, and I believe the educational system in Norway has come very far, and it's still evolving. But it's also a lot of Indians who moved to Norway. They would rather send their children to private schools. Because of the level, and they don't see that kind of a push and challenge in the educational system in Norway. What are your thoughts about that? What is your take on that, or what would you encourage people to think, how to think about that?
No, I fully respect that, and also a main point of my part is that it should for the most part be a decision of every family to choose where to send their child to school, and also different kind of schools with other approaches to the learning process. That's a good value also with the Norwegian school system. But still, I think that for example, in Sokndal, we are a small municipality, only 3,500 inhabitants, and we only have one. So of course, my main objective is to make our school as good as possible. But also for expats, for example, it's good that, especially in Stavanger, which is the region capital, that we have good international schools as well. Because it's a big step to start. And I was exchange student during my high school, and I traveled to Switzerland, and suddenly I had to learn everything in German. That was a huge challenge for me, but of course it went okay.
It's doable. Yeah. So now, but now you talk English, Norwegian, and German.
Yes, I think I actually spoke better English before I started, before I went to Germany, because to Switzerland, because now I am confusing somewhat with German.
Yeah. So you feel your English was better before you went to Switzerland?
Yes.
Because you didn't speak English at all?
It's just a theory of mine, because I think I need some time to change. speak German, and then if I want to speak English, it's kind of mixed.
Mixed, yeah. No, amazing. Okay, so what other I know you can talk about Sokndal and Rogaland and where you belong to, but is there anything that we have the local election everywhere? Would it be very different from a Christian Democratic Party from the different counties, which issue they highlight or what they will focus on this election? Or is it just general, will the party kind of spread out their general issues and causes?
I think so in general, all over Norway, that most of the local parties, we decide our local policies. We have a big grade as like autonomy from the local level, but of course the people you will find representing the other parties are people that kind of agree on the fundamental values of the different parties. And of course also for me as representing the Christian Democratic Party in a municipality where we have like 5 out of 21 seats in the city council, would also be different than a municipality where we only have 1 or 2 seats of the. For me, it's important that we highlight both kind of some of the topics that's important for the Christian Democratic Party. For example, all over Norway we have a proposal now that every child and youth should get an amount of money every year to be spent on leisure activities, because we know that that's a big it's really important for the integration and to be a part of that environment from an early age and not fall out of it. And it's a big part of a family's economy, and if we kind of dedicate we call it a card for that, that's really good. It was introduced by the previous government, which my party was part of, but was cut by the new government, but we want to introduce it again. But overall, for me also as a mayor, it's important to have like good answers on all aspects of policy, and also see like the big picture. So good economic governing of the city of Sokndal is also important for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very good point. What you're saying, that the integration and the togetherness and inclusion needs to happen from when we are young, when the children are small, because it says, children don't see color, but they don't even, they don't see the difference necessary. It's we who point them out to them, but they might feel different if they are not included into any activities. Not every child like to play football. Not every child like to swim. Not every child like to, sing, So I think it's important to support the children's interest and help them include into different activities, as you're saying, from the early stages. I think that's a very important point, and I'm happy that that's a central thing, that everybody is going to focus on that, because that's going to be, that's something that is needed in every county. It's not just your county. Are there some issues that are very unique for your county that is not so much for other counties?
So one example, which has been quite controversial all over Norway the last couple of years, is that we have a proposed extension of a wind farm in Sokndal. So we are currently discussing whether we should accept this extension or if we should say no. And of course that's it's highly controversial, because some people, they don't want this into our nature, but of course we all need new energy, and if we want new industry in Norway, we need more energy. So that's it's a difficult topic to discuss, but that's democracy.
Yeah, that's democracy on its best. Yeah, that's amazing. Is there anything that you want to educate us or enlighten us, or anything that I haven't touched on that you want to, bring the message to the audience?
I really hope that all Indian immigrants of Norway and other multicultural groups use their vote, because even though you don't have voting rights for the parliamentary elections, you don't have to live in Norway for that long to have a voting right in our local communities. And in Norway, the local communities have actually quite a lot to say in the everyday services that encounter the citizen. And also, I think, of course, you have to vote for the party that aligns with your values the most. But I also think, and that's one of my kind of the things I talk about both to young people and to other people with the multicultural backgrounds, is that we need people in the city council that represent the people. And we need people, we need old people, we need doctors, we need construction workers, we need teachers. And unfortunately, it's like that in Norway, that we have not so many young people, and we also don't have that many political representatives with multicultural backgrounds. So engage in politics, vote for the people that you think represent you, and also take part in the local democracy after the election. Because even though I say that the door to my office over there is open for everyone, it's normally the same people that come through.
That comes through. Yeah. I mean, oh wow, that's a very, very important point. It's not, it's after the election when the work actually starts. When we are electing people or voting for people, we are just choosing people who can represent our voice, who can raise our voice. But then we need to bring our voice, our issues to you, so that you can do the work. It's not finished.
What also surprised me when I started being political active in Norway is that Norwegian politicians, all in all, are very down to earth and very easy to take contact with. Also, I mean, on all levels. Of course, you might not get the meeting on the first day after sending a message to your mayor in a big city, but all in all, you can send messages, you can ask for meetings with the members of the national parliament, and they will probably agree. It's a very open system. I think that's very good. And if you have different proposals, you can send it. You don't have to kind of put yourself into there with your name. You can just pass on the proposals. I need the input to do a good job as a public servant in my municipality.
Amazing. So many encouraging words, and I hope people who are new to Norway and this is might be your first election, use your vote and choose who is going to represent you, which party aligns best with you. Listening to you, I think maybe I have to choose Christian Democrats this year, because my values are definitely family first, family in the center. So maybe I also have to do my homework again. As I said earlier when we started this episode, that you might think you want to vote for one party, but after getting to know the values of the party, you might switch. So stay tuned with us. Hopefully we'll bring more amazing guests like you, Jonas, on this channel, who can enlighten you and, inspire you to be more politically active. Thank you, Jonas, so much for joining us today, and thank you for your time and your wisdom.
You're welcome. Godt valg.
Bye, everybody.